All right, so we're gonna be talking a little bit about gaming since we haven't talked about it that much. And I have Gaming Anarchist. I put his links in the description below. If you want to talk to him or just follow his work. So you actually have, I think you have actually more subscribers than me, which is
Wait, I
oh
don't
yeah,
know.
you got loads.
It's a
10
sad,
times.
that's a sad thing. I haven't actually since I haven't actually done haven't regularly done videos since 2013 or something. It's getting pathetic now. I need to do something about it. So I
Yeah,
do
but
enjoy bitching out the industry and complaining, but just
yeah, but
finding the time,
I think
getting back
people
into the habit.
like your style and how you do your videos. That's why I think they actually watch your stuff because it's interesting what you have to say. Because you don't really hold anything back when you when you do the videos. So um,
No, generally
uh,
not. No.
yeah, and you're also very articulate. So you get your points across. So I think that's why people generally go and watch your stuff. So let's I can screen share. Let's see. Here we go. There you can see this. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
So for those that haven't followed the gaming industry, well, Last Night is a game that is kind of future dystopian, isn't that how you would describe this game? Like a dystopian future where it's also an indie game, and Tim Soray, who is the creative director or basically the head of the project, tweeted out. I think there were two tweets about Gamergate, and basically during E3 regarding this, and I played the apology of Tim Soray on another stream, but I actually wanted to go and delve into this because it seems to me that the company actually made him apologize for this for the tweets. What do you think? What are your thoughts on?
Yeah, it looks like they're in a position where they're just put into a corner. Because from what I understand, this was picked up by NeoGaf originally, who went digging as they tend to do and went through the long history. And then they found a couple of tweets speaking positively about gamers at the time that gamers were being endlessly shat on. And yeah, lo and behold, yeah, funnily enough, he's not he's not a far right guy. He's not a racist. He's not a bigot. He's just a guy who was distasteful about the way the industry was treating your average gamer. And he's clearly got some relatively egalitarian outlook. I mean, the game itself seems kind of like 1984 meets Blade Runner kind of thoughts and aesthetics. And,
Yeah, and
clearly he's like, be careful because this shit goes too far. Self-censorship is dangerous. Thought crime is not somewhere you want to start going. There's nothing wrong with, well, there should be nothing wrong with that line of thought and that kind of speculative fiction for sci-fi, but people lost their shit because that's the outcome. That's unfortunately some people, like the Sarkeesians of this world. God, I hate to mention their name straight off, but like the people like that's what they want. They want conformity of speech and of thought because things that they disagree with are inherently harmful, so they have to be removed.
yeah, because when what I saw from his tweets is he never actually like came out. Oh, I'm a gamer which I wouldn't actually expect of anyone to actually do, especially during that time as a developer because of all the ostracizing that happened to developers. But his other tweet was like, "I'm not a feminist. I'm just an egalitarian. I don't care what you are, man, woman, alien." It's basically the most harmful, no, least harmful stuff. The just harmless, and he has to apologize for that.
It's kind of indicative of the whole horseshoe theory, isn't it? Because realistically, if they're saying that statement should make everybody go, yeah, Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, I'm going to treat you as an individual. I'm not going to. And then, of course, they twist that and go, so that means if you saw someone who was black and had been beaten by the police, you just assume he was just the same as a rich white guy. And you go, well, no, of course not. I'm going to consider their personal circumstances when I treat them like an individual, but I'm not going to go say, for example, like a lot of these kind of crazies do, like, oh, you're black, therefore you clearly don't have education and you don't know where to find a photo ID, and you're clearly a moron who doesn't have a pet, doesn't have like a functional family. Well, you don't know that. Granted, if the dude's got nothing but, he's got gold teeth and is acting like a complete and utter retard with his trousers around his knees, then maybe you can make that assumption. But you have to have more evidence than just the color of someone's skin or their gender to make an assumption about someone. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that statement. I'll take you as I find you and I won't prejudge you. The fuck is wrong with that? That should be like, everyone should be applauding and going, good, that's where we want to be.
Yeah, because that would actually be a bigot when you're actually judging people by their group, their how they look, how, their race, their gender, whatever. Like that would actually be bigoted.
Yeah, and this is kind of the point, that it's inherently a Marxist attitude, that they want to see people as classes, and they want to basically try and make as many classes as possible, and they want to find a scapegoat for all the wrongs in the world, and that's of course the people who have historically controlled the majority of the Western hierarchy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, white dudes who aren't freaks or somehow like mentally challenged or have like rich families. Yeah, I mean, like I'm all for like going against the 1%, and that's what's really bizarre about this whole situation. A lot of these people who end up on like the other side of, they kind of get lumped in with the far right. A lot of these guys are like anti-corporatist, anti-elitist, egalitarian, often relatively like center left, kind of supporting of it, all this kind of supporting of equality. But that's not enough. You've got to be some kind of crazy, self-loathing mad person.
Basically.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, Stalin was fine. I'm like, what is wrong with you? That's mental.
Yeah, so let's go actually through this and dissect what they actually said here. Today we revealed the last night during the Xbox conference and have been overwhelmed with the response we have received, both good and bad. And we specifically want to draw attention to the few things that the creative director has said in the past. Sorry. We at Raw Fury believe in equality, believe in feminism, and believe everyone has a right and a chance at the equal pursuit of happiness. See, that they don't mention.
Oh, they're wrong. See, they've misspoken. They're ass kissing there. What they say is they should say they believe in the aim of gender parity, gender and racial parity.
Yeah,
that's equal opportunity. You can't do that. That's racist. That's racist and sexist.
That's affirmative action, basically.
Yeah,
and they don't mention men's rights. They just mention feminism.
Yeah, I was like, believe in feminism. That's I believe in racism is a thing that exists. That's like, I find that's fun. Like, I believe that like all religions exist. Doesn't mean I follow them all. What the fuck does that even mean? I believe in feminism.
Well, what I would, if I was the PR person who wrote this, we support feminism and
support the aims of gender equality.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That would
almost everyone can agree with that, except for the most like insanely red-pilled people.
Yeah. And here, believe in feminism. That sounds very cultish to me. Like, you have to believe in feminism, otherwise you're a bigot. We would not be working with Tim Surrey Oddtails at all if we believed they were against this principle in any aspect. Wait, so they have to believe this to actually, for you to publish their game?
Yeah. But equally, I think the hilarious thing is that some of this is the indictment. It's kind of, people don't like to admit this, but when they kind of like when Gamergate kicked off as it was, most of the people who they were labeling as these like terrible sexists, the majority of them weren't, and that's the whole point. All these things are washing out, and they're like, oh, this guy, we can find tweets linking him to a hashtag. And we previously thought that meant the red mark, that they were the devil and must be rooted out. It turns out he's just a decent guy who cares about people.
Yeah, I mean,
fancy that.
Who in their right mind like goes and says, "Oh, fuck women" or something like that? Just goes out and no, we don't want to hire women because they birth babies, so we can't have them.
I was literally listening to an 80s British sitcom called Yes Minister. It's a really kind of like it's an insightful thing on how the British government functions, the satire, like from the early 80s. And there's a bit where they talk about gender equality, and it's so funny. They say stuff like, you know, all these like older white guys in the room, kind of like, they're really like the genuine kind of patriarchal attitude is so fucking funny. The whole satire of it going, oh, you know, well, you know, we all totally, you know, agree in concepts, you know, with women, but you know, there are all these, and then listed all these examples why they couldn't promote women. And then at one bit, when, you know, I think we should make sure that we promote the best man for the job, no matter what their gender is. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, but who in the right mind would actually do this? There are executives at studios that are really good, like Jade Raymond, Amy Hennig, what's her name, Roberta Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's also like a crazy smart tech woman who created the graphics engine for Halo and
Yeah.
went over to Naughty Dog to work with their graphics engine there, and she's like probably the best in the industry. So I mean, there are so many talented women, but because they are a vast minority, they suddenly look down upon. I mean, I think there was like 20% women in the industry, something
Yeah.
like that.
And I think that's a fairly healthy, considering that technology tends to attract women at a lower rate. And we can't really say what that reason is, but in general, they're not attracted to that kind of thing. Especially when you think about the people at the top of the industry now. I mean, what, the gaming industry, realistically, 30, 40 years old max. And so those people like at the absolute top of their career, like, you know, the people who've been doing it for their whole careers. Back in the days, like you go back to the 90s, where it was a massive, massive risk to be involved in gaming in any way. Like no one knew the industry would even take off anywhere near the way it kind of did. And you know, and that kind of risk is inherently, not to sound sexist, but is inherently something that is more likely that men do because we're stupid. Men are generally more risky. We're less risk averse and we do dumb shit. And therefore people are more likely to do the likes of, you know, John Romero and John Carmack, like sleep on the floor and eat pizza and release their game for free.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to
That's not a risk in general. If you were going to bet money, who's going to make that stupid risk their entire future on a dumb project by literally going, we're going to make a game, be broke, and we're going to give it away. We're going to give the first bit away for free and not sell it, and then hope people come back and buy the other levels.
Yeah.
If you were to bet what the gender of that person is, you'd go, yeah, that's a guy, because that's a massive fucking risk. Because guys, I mean, it's testosterone makes people more risk. Yeah. Makes them less afraid of risk.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Rubin, the guy who founded Naughty Dog, hearing his stories, because he made also a major risk, because he was in the like late 80s and joined the gaming industry, and he made a major risk just entering the gaming industry as a profession, and then he made a studio. And all of he had like 16 to 18 hours where he was working a day, and when you hear that, you just you can understand this is a man who did this. Like it's very demanding. Oh, not as much now because you have bigger teams, and but there's still a lot of demanding things of the developers, especially like 3 months before the game ships. That's basically what they call crunch time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing. It's not a societal. I mean, it is kind of a societal thing because generally there is an inherent protectiveness around women. So therefore, men have to be exceptional to receive to excel, and therefore they take risks. It's societal, and it is somewhat genetic as well because testosterone tends towards risky behavior, and that's why you get that. That's why in pioneering, anything that's a pioneered thing, almost exclusively dominated by men. But then it's also the majority of the losers in life are men. That's how it works.
In the chat, Doom release speared on the industry. It forced hardware to advance gaming in a few years. Yeah, that is true as well.
Yeah, it did. They really, really put so much into it, and it succeeded.
Yeah,
really, truly did. Great, you know. and if I was to bet, I mean, the same way that indie pioneers, modern indie pioneers, you don't see many of the top indie pioneers don't tend to be women because they're not the first ones out the gate. It's just a general thing. And it's and then you have to think backfill. You have to backfill it, and it's going to be a minority interest for women, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that's what I find so frustrating. So that's not a bad thing. That's just the reality we live in, and I reckon it could be less extreme with a little bit of like cultural shift, but ultimately the evolutionary imperative is going to smack that down to always make sure it's always going to be mostly men being risky.
Yeah, I mean that it's just, I think it's just nature. Let's go back to the tweet longer. The comments Tim made in 2014 are certainly surprising and don't fit the person we know, and we hope that everyone reading this who knows us at Raw Fury on a personal and professional level knows that we wouldn't tolerate working with someone who portrays the caricature of Tim going around on the internet now. What?
But it's a smear of Tim. That's the point. This poor guy was smeared like a motherfucker. And then, of course, then they go like, well, it turns out the guy you're working with is a woman-hating, misogynistic psychopath who wants to murder Zoe Quinn. And it's like, no, I don't. That doesn't seem like him at all. No shit. Because it's not true for like 99.99% of the people who've been smeared with that label.
What's funny is they're actually making the point against the SJWs, but are actually supporting them.
Yeah, well, they're kowtowing to them. They are they're kowtowing to that pressure because if NeoGAF puts you in their sights, unfortunately, like people never mention this, but like the likes of someone like NeoGAF as a forum is genuinely a forum for like massive harassment, equally, if not worse, than the likes of like 4chan. Like 4chan, if 4chan gets something to be in their bonnet, it kicks off a load of people going in on something, and it can create basically a torrent of focus on this one topic and focus on one or a group of people. And that's what they call the whole harassment thing. But like the same thing happens on the other side. Like exactly as soon as those games come out, they're like, who's this guy? Search him. Search through his Twitter. Immediately they were looking for this because this happened like I'm pretty sure this happened during the conference they found him. It's not like it's a well-known guy. It's not like it was someone who is well known amongst the kind of NeoGAF something awful circles of people who are out constantly trying to chase these people down for their wrong think. They dug and they found him pretty much straight away and forgot. Oh God, well we found 2 tweets. Right, well let's nail him to a tree.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that one of the moderators at NeoGAF was caught having child pornography.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It's always these guys.
Looking at all the opponents of Gamergate, like they're all like creeps. Like I had a list of all the people. I think there are like 5, 6. I think 6 people now that are charged or are facing court regarding like harassment, rape, or child porn or whatever. It's like really freaking. They're so hard at projecting this shit, and that they try to make us all of that.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the hilarious thing, and it's either. I mean, there's a lot of people who aren't. Who aren't. I mean, a lot of people who were kind of like on that side of things, is that they're not bad. Like a lot of the people who are anti-Gamergate and are still this way, and they believe it was a hate. They're not the bad people. Like the majority of those people, they like, harassment's terrible. Despite the fact that most people who were within it were like, harassment's terrible. But they're just going, yeah, I agree. Harassment and stalking is a bad thing. Therefore, this is a bad thing. But then the hardcore people, the ones who are really, really, who still go on about it, like 3 years after it, like, Jesus, let it fucking go. Those people, almost like the rate of them turning out to be rapists or creeps is so fucking high. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, like there was that Sarah Butts who was fucking abusing her cousin. There was those there was Devin Faraci who grabbed that woman drunkenly after like having a go. That was one of the first people. I mean, people forget if they're not kind of like the Gamergate historians of this world, is that someone like Devin Faraci is one of the guys who kicked off Gamergate in the way that he did, because he was the guy who made the tweet that I respect ISIS more than I respect people who don't like Zoe Quinn.
Exactly.
And that was one of the biggest, because I went after him big time. And quite a few people were like, you motherfucker, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Not liking someone on the internet is not equivalent. And it was the day that a US journalist was decapitated. And it's like, you're fucked up, mate. You are fucked up that's your attitude. Really, it's fucked up.
And one of the moderators of Feminist Frequency was also a registered sex offender.
Yeah. There's like loads of them, and like it's a real. And there was a guy who was like going on, and he turned out to be. There was a guy who was convicted of rape by like pretending he was a porn producer.
Oh, what was his name? I sort of read it.
Also, was it Matt Forney? No, it wasn't Matt Forney. Was it Matt Forney?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Matt Forney. There's loads of them. And there was another guy who was accused of rape and then was found to be not guilty. What was his name? It was a Canadian, Asian, Pakistani guy, Canadian guy from like either India or Pakistan heritage. I can't remember his name, but he was like in court for like rape. It was like there's loads of them. They're such fucking creepy bastards.
Yeah. And Zoe Quinn, of course, was emotionally abusive towards Aaron Joni. So
yeah. That's the weird thing. I mean, I literally remember I actually had an actual kind of functional friendship with her, like an acquaintanceship with her at the time it all kicked off, and I was like, dude, you need to stick your head down and let this go, because if you keep fighting this, and little did I realize that she really, really, really wanted the drama. I was like, oh, turns out that you're actually just desperate for the attention. Because I was like, look, seriously. I mean, if these things happen, just put your head down and just make a tweet and pin it and say, look, this is a private matter. I'm having my personal relationship dragged through the mud, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to go offline for a couple of days, and it would have gone. Yeah. No one would have given a shit after that. It was like, well, but then it implicated a load of people in the press for being crooked, and then it's like, then they all just double down, and but you don't double down on the internet, because the internet has got a never-ending amount of spurgs who will fuck your life up.
Autists will. It will be killed with autism.
Yeah.
Weaponized autism.
It is fucking weaponized autism. It's like look up to Shia LaBeouf. Like, don't fuck with the internet, because they will dedicate their life to fucking ruining your day.
Like Shia LaBeouf, like, oh, you can't, you won't know where this shit is. Oh, wait and see, motherfucker.
And even when it's like, I put it on the last thing when they put it on top of that museum in Liverpool, they were like, no one in the UK is going to be interested in this. And then like minutes later, there's a guy on top of the building taking photos of the pit. Going, they've cable tied it. I'll be back later with some bolt cutters. And they removed it and then stick it in fucking Iceland or something. Was it Greenland or Iceland or something? They like stuck it on a fucking shed in the middle of the Arctic.
Oh my god!
Like, that's the only place you could hide for the internet, and then even then, people were just trolling the fuck out their new program. It's like, don't fuck with the internet, because they will, for their own entertainment, they'll see it as a challenge to fucking ruin your day.
It's like, okay, challenge accepted.
Yeah. Like, don't fuck with people. Like, that's exactly why this happened in the first place. It's like, don't start these stupid fucking arguments.
Yeah.
If a flame thing kicks up, don't fight it. Just let it roll. Just let the waves go up and crash, and it goes. How many people? Who goes after Phil Fish now?
Nobody.
Who gives a shit about Phil Fish? That guy's a motherfucker, and like, but no one cares.
Yeah.
He just stuck his head down, became a DJ. Stop talking shit. No one's talked about that guy for years.
DJ Phil Fish Sticks.
Yeah.
Here, let's continue with this. The wording of his statement toward feminism in 2014 was, isn't it, were poor? I mean, English is my third fucking language, but I shouldn't.
Yeah, I think was poor counts for that. It is okay.
Okay. Yeah, but there were several. Anyways, I'm a grammar Nazi. It's my
Yeah.
German side coming out. And his buying into Gamergate as a movement on the notion that it represented gamers against journalists was naive. But in the same
Okay.
but in the same year, he also cheered the rise of women in gaming in a similar situation as the one happening now. Folks on the idle thumbs forums found questionable tweets, and Tim took it upon himself to address them. What came from them that was a dialogue where different viewpoints were considered and debated in a purposeful way. So, what's the goddamn issue then? Like,
He dared to think that Gamergate was about what the people who were in Gamergate thought it was about.
yeah,
That
I
motherfucker!
mean,
How dare you?
FBI has vindicated Gamergate. Even Wham vindicated Gamergate, basically. And there has been, as far as I know, nothing in court or anything like that.
Literally, I think the only person who has ever ended up in any kind of legal trouble to do with Gamergate is Ralph getting done for punching a cop while drunk.
Yeah, but he got basically thrown out because he was doxing people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. He was a fringe kind of guy anyway. But like, he's the only person I know who had any tangential link to anything, and his arrest had nothing to do with anything. He was drunk and fought a
A
cop.
fucking idiot. So
Yeah, that's like don't especially in America. What the fuck are you doing? Don't get drunk and fight a cop in the US. Fucking hell, they will kill your ass.
yeah, like, but no one ever says Ralph was a smart cookie. So, so yeah, but like he's buying into gaming as a movement. It wasn't really ever a movement. It was basically just a fringe of people.
Yeah, and it was
So,
so that's the whole thing. People talk about this fucking hashtag like it was a thing. Like it was a hashtag that we used to share information in a time. For God's sake, that's what it was. And it did
yeah,
bring some people together. Some like-minded people expanded their acquaintance base and the people that they were talking to substantially, and that stays to this day. But other than that, it was just a communication method, for fuck's sake.
I mean, I've gotten friends online because of Gamergate, but
Yeah.
I didn't stick with everyone because some of them were like, "Oh my fucking god, who are you?"
Well, yeah,
Like
just because you
talking to
happen to
them.
agree, just because you happen to agree that Kotaku and Polygon are trash, doesn't mean they're going to be your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
But like every single person who ever used that as a hashtag agree that those websites are trash. That's
yeah,
literally the glue that put people together.
yeah, because I had to
Fuck
several
Kotaku,
times.
fuck Polygon. That was that.
Yeah,
That
because
seems to be what everyone had in common.
I had to sabotage some people I thought were like fucking crazy. Um, well, here's the link, blah, blah, blah. Side note, debating Anita Sarkeesian's effort toward highlighting sexism in the gaming industry is touchy. And though Tim's post back then was naive, we felt that he wasn't being malicious, like so many others have been to Anita in the past. So we share all of this with the hope that people can
It's not
see.
touchy. She's always been fucking wrong. Like everything she says is fucking wrong. And everyone who knows anything about games is like, yeah, you know you're full of shit.
Yeah, and
If your bottom
people,
line, if your bottom line is I want to encourage more women to be involved in gaming, then
yeah.
that's great. But everything you said was fucking shit, and you know it.
With the hope that people can see that firsthand, we understand that no matter what, there will be people who will not look at him the same again, and we will respect that too. But fuck those people.
Fucking why? Oh, people are just gonna be really, really prejudiced because we are completely retarded. Like, what? What?
Like, I uploaded a video today that says Anita actually said it was never about video games.
Yeah, it was always about social justice. She made that very, very clear.
Yeah,
She
I
knew.
uploaded that.
Everyone has always said she's not not a legit gamer.
Yeah,
That was
I
the biggest
uploaded
stumbling block.
that
She
14
doesn't
second
understand
clip.
context.
Yeah, yes,
She
I
doesn't
uploaded.
understand context or,
Yeah,
or know anything about the genre she's talking about. She's clearly phoning it in, and then she's like, "Yeah, I was." Well, yeah. Therefore, all your critics were right, and calling them all bad people is just fucking stupid.
yeah, and she stole all the footage and lied about the games, cherry picked them like so much they were basically red herrings all over the place.
Well, I mean, I remember that they kind of made that argument. Like, I remember they were talking about bloody Hitman Absolution and the likes of that, saying the game incentivizes you to murder women. It's like, really? Because if you murder any civilian, you lose points. Even if you hide the body, you still have a net loss of points.
Yeah.
So no, it doesn't. That's fucking dumb.
And
And I kind of argue that, like assuming that you could only kill women as well. It's like, it's so creepy. It's like, what, the amount of female NPCs in Hitman were like, I don't know, 20% of the NPCs in the game. Oh, fuck me. Well, you can kill them too. Well, yeah. You can kill everybody in the map.
I think you only kill 4 women that you have as target in the game. I actually played through the game. I remember you have to kill the 4 nuns, and you kill
There's the woman in the penthouse on the second to last level. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have the one in the beginning, the first one.
Yeah, your handler.
Yeah, basically. So about 5 women compared to what? Thousands of men.
Yeah.
And the whole Batman thing. Oh my God, you can't see his ass because
yes, you can. You can if you know how to maneuver Batman. If you do his ground pound, you can see his ass.
Yeah, but I mean, his cape has a function, you know.
And I should like his cape is designed to cover his ass. No, it's a weighted fucking cape, you dipshit. It's so he can fucking fly. It's a hang glider.
And had she played Arkham Knight, she would have known you could play as Nightwing, who has the tightest fucking suit, and you can see his ass just fine.
Yeah, or you can play there's some of the skins you can play that are some of the other skins as well that are. It's like it's just dumb shit. It's like, and also there's a functional reason Batman has that cape because he looks like a fucking bat. Is mainly the reason.
Yeah, and he flies with it. It has a function.
If he was Mole Man, you could see his ass. It's just a reality.
Or Baboon Man.
Baboon Man. Yeah, totally Baboon Man. He'd have his ass cheeks out. He'd be in chaps.
Oh my God. And here we go. A lot can change in 3 years, including viewpoints. And Tim has assured us that the last night does not spout a message steeped in regressive stances. Well, that's quite ironic. We trust him and know that he is an advocate for progression both in and outside of our industry, and we hope that this will be apparent moving forward. Outside of our industry, what the fuck does that even mean?
That's just creepy.
Like you're actually this publisher right here is admitting they're controlling their employees and what they are thinking. This is basically thought crime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you must believe in the cult of equality, otherwise you're a fucking evil person. But believe diversity. Okay.
Believe in feminism. Like Jesus. This sounds it's fucking scary. If I was Tim Sorey, like if a company made me excuse myself for something that had nothing to do with the game, and I did on my own free time. Like fuck those people.
Yeah, I get it if it was like, okay, it turns out he published a book about how he wants to gas all the Jews. I'd get that would lose you a job. If that was his thing. It turns out on his time off, he likes to dress as Hitler, and he likes to, and he's written street plays about gassing the Jews. And he'd be like, yeah, okay, fine, you can fire that dude. I mean, I get it. That's like, corporate oversight. That's going to happen if you want to get involved in corporate business. Yeah, HR are going to fuck your day up. But if it's like, turns out he might not agree with opportunity with the quality of outcome. So, is he the head of HR? Like, what the fuck?
I gotta disable ad blocker on this goddamn site. Fucking hell. So I can read the next one. Anyways, so for the next article, yeah, because I also have to provide some context, because you played games in the 90s, and
I played Crash the first time around.
Yeah, or the games in the 90s, they were fucking hard.
Yeah.
They were brutal with difficulty. There was no easy back then. There was no easy, normal, or hard.
I remember being my first console that I had was, because I'm an old fuck, was the Atari 520 ST. I remember playing the game R-Type, which is, I don't know if you played that. So basically a side-scrolling bullet hell. And at the age of like 6 or 7 or whatever, as I had it, like I remember I played the first level a million times and hardly ever got past the first or second level. Sorry, the game was hard. I couldn't beat it. I was a little kid and I couldn't beat it. The game was difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what you did. Like if you gamed in like the 80s or 90s, you just played the first couple of levels endlessly because you couldn't, or you completed the game if you were really good at it. But generally, these people, like, you didn't complete the games. That was like the mark of excellence.
I remember a game on I didn't get a console until the Super Nintendo, and I'm born in late '80s, so I didn't actually, I had the Game Boy first and then the Super Nintendo, and when I got there was like a shoot 'em up, which had like aliens shooting with spaceships, and that game was fucking hard. Like Jesus Christ, I never got like I got through the 3 or first levels, and that was it. I had to, and I was a kid back then as well. I had no freaking
You
chance.
just, especially because it had so many lives and there was no save state, and it was, you played a couple of levels, you played a level or two, you die, you try again, you die, you try again, you die, and the expectation is not you've played through the game. There are some games that it was, but in general, no.
Trying for like a couple of weeks, I just said, "Fuck it, I'm not playing this. I'm just not playing this." So there was no like guides online in which you can do walkthroughs and get help. Fuck it, no, you were on your own. You had to figure shit out on your own. So, and I just wanted to include this last chapter because these hipsters who review games right now, it doesn't seem like they've ever really they've only put games on easy and just walk through them. Here, but then there's death. The death. There's just no escaping it. There might be a brand new death animation to keep you entertained. Oh look, I've been swallowed by a lion again. But there's no avoiding that the controls just mean that Crash Bandicoot has become Dark Souls.
Oh Jesus!
What
it's
the
like,
fuck?
oh, sorry, it's an old D-pad, early 3D platformer. It was not the most responsive of games. Never was. I mean, I remember playing it. I mean, hell, I even, like, I remember playing it, and I remember I played through Uncharted 4, and you got to play through Crash Bandicoot then. And I remember playing it going, yeah, this is how it felt like. It felt that you had to press the buttons almost like out of time with the animations to make it work, because it was not the most responsive game.
Yeah.
Your fingers were almost working. You saw what was on the screen, but your fingers were not working synchronized to the animations. You had to understand when you pressed it and how you moved. And it was early stage 3D platformer, so it wasn't easy. Like to 100%, Crash Bandicoot 1 is pretty fucking difficult, but otherwise, no.
Yeah,
it's not that fucking hard. It's just a fucking platformer.
Yeah, I mean, and also, well, and it's remastered now as well, so now it actually works as it was supposed to, and also like Super Mario 64 is like a treasure now. It's a classic, but the controls aren't that good as well. I mean, they aren't that sensitive, so sometimes it just got fucked up because it was slow or didn't understand your input. So games like that were that hard back then. So
yeah, I think if anything, this suggests, it's like, well, I'm sorry, there's this is not that. I mean, it's not even that it is that hard. It's just, okay, it is just reminding people how piss easy so much stuff is now.
Yeah.
And there's a reason people fetishize Dark Souls, because Dark Souls isn't even all that hard.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of game to most games. I mean, like, there's loads you can talk shit about it. You can talk shit about the janky animations. You can talk shit about the hitboxes. You can talk shit about plenty of things. It's a juice, blah, blah, blah. But the reason people who like it is because it's a challenge. But it's not just about that, but it's like, yeah, okay, fine, it's not easy, but then equally, you know, Dragon's Dogma was not easy, but Dragon's Dogma has not got the cult following that Dark Souls has.
True.
Dragon's Dogma was an easy game.
Yeah, and I mean, you have, but I mean, let's look at also online games. I mean, World of Warcraft or even Destiny. I play Destiny quite a bit. Like the strikes there, the when you do it, or the raids can be pretty freaking hard. Nobody called that game a freaking Dark Souls because the raids were hard, because they're a challenge and only the best players are gonna play them.
Yeah,
Just bashing a game because it's a little bit out. That's where the whole phrase comes from. Get good.
yeah.
When it comes to gaming,
This phrase here from the first paragraph, I think suggests that either the person who reviewed this played it as a no, first paragraph, sorry, first, second, third paragraph down. There's a statement here that it's like the game, the remaster. The stick feels too unwieldy for exact jumps, while the D-pad doesn't quite match the twitch controls of the original. What fucking game were you playing? Crash Bandicoot did not have fucking twitch controls. No way. The weird flippy jump was like slow. It felt kind of sluggish. The positioning's difficult. That's one of the biggest challenges of that game, is that the controls were not particularly crisp. It's early 3D platforming. What the fuck do they mean? The Twitch controls of it never reacted to Twitch. Never had Twitch controls.
here, well, this is sometimes caused by the 1996 level design that makes the Binding of Isaac feel like a summer getaway. Like, Jesus Christ, you can't compare a 21-year-old game to a game that came out, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah. Which, you know, an indie roguelike, basically just an old school Zelda style dungeon crawler that's a bit, it's tricky, and but it's designed to be tricky. Sometimes you get a bad roll and your game's fucked.
Yeah.
But that's the point of the game. It's a roguelite. Binding of Isaac is not all that difficult, but sometimes you get a bad hand, or you play the game and you get a tough boss straight off, and it's bad luck, not bad skill. Crash Bandicoot, you have to play that game with the expectations that, yeah, like I said, the controls are, I don't know, half a second behind, before the animations. It's sluggish as fuck. That's what gaming used to be like.
Yeah, we're so entitled now and spoiled that when some games, to these reviewers, this is a goddamn job, and they're complaining about the difficulty of games. Jesus fucking Christ!
They should be like, oh, this game was refreshingly challenging.
Yeah, or if I was a reviewer, all I would include in the review was, for some gamers, it may be challenging.
Yeah, if you're not used to, especially because if you've never played through the early 3D platformers, yeah, they're not so precise. Equally, actually, did they, the Tiki Mask? I haven't played the remaster yet. Did they include the Ooga Booga soundtrack for the Tiki Mask?
Yeah, I think they included everything.
Has no one complained about that being really racist yet? It says Ooga Booga, for fuck's sake.
Well, I think because the SGWs are suck at playing games, that they haven't found this yet. That's my theory.
Oh, maybe because they never is. Because when you find that Tiki Mask, he goes Ooga Booga. I'm surprised people are like, that's fucking racist as balls. I would thought like, going like, wow, you totally couldn't get away with that these days. And if they've released it with that sound clip back in, I'm like, that's hilarious. The fact that no one's picked that up either. That's like that's like, that's like when people were going off at Resident Evil 5 before they saw the villagers in the loincloths, which was pretty fucking funny. When they were just looking at like black people in shirts and going, that's racist, and then thinking, okay, those people, and then translate them to this Tiki Mask making fucking weird African noises. It's like, oh, apparently they didn't care.
Okay.
I totally expected there to be a massive outrage about it, or them to cut it out, because they thought, okay, Naughty Dog must have thought, okay, let's remove it for the sake of sensibility. If they haven't, that's hilarious.
I think it will be weekend. I saw a replay of it, and as far as I saw, there was one clip that included them. Uh, I didn't. There was a B-roll, so I couldn't hear what the if there was actually someone saying "ooga booga."
I'd love it if it did. I'd love it if if it's made it way through that and no one's mentioned it. They're all just complaining that it's difficult. That's fucking amazing.
Here, and also this part of the review, when it takes sheer willpower to survive the original first island, when you played the game for years, you know something has gone wrong somewhere. Right.
No. You're just not used to it anymore. Come on. That's a ridiculous statement.
Sure, it's big, beautiful, and positively packed with charm, but it's time to prepare to die. Like, Jesus, come on.
This is just like it's just like Blight Town. That's what this is. It's the Blight Town of platformers.
Jesus Christ. The chat is saying, just real quick.
It's got autosave for fuck's sake. Oh my god, they're complaining about the game. It's got autosave.
Oh,
but I mean, this was a game that you could autosave up to a point, and then if you lost your lives, you had to start again from the beginning. I'm pretty sure that you had auto recover until your lives ran out, and then fuck you, go back to the beginning of the level. If this has got autosave, how are you complaining it's hard?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let's talk about the next one here, which is kind of the big finale, as you might say. From CNET, when was it published again? I think so. Oh,
June
yeah.
14th.
June 14th. Gamergate to Trump, how video games culture blew everything up. Oh, dear God.
So,
where do you even begin with this?
I mean, you could make a valid argument that a lot of people, that there were people who were turned on to how the media has an agenda, and it's an agenda they don't like. There are definitely some people, and you could maybe say thousands of people who were turned on to that thought. They didn't have that thought before. But to assume it was so transformative to the whole culture is fucking stupid. It's indicative of a course that we were going down. People were getting sick and fucking tired of the way that the blogging media that was becoming more and more mainstream was talking shit. So yeah, of course, people would be attracted to an anti-media candidate. Yeah, okay, fine, but it certainly wasn't enough to win a fucking election over.
I mean, we talked about this before we started the stream, but didn't they like bitch for like entire year that we were like only 300 people?
Oh yeah, yeah. They claimed that they were like only a couple of hundred people, and they were like mostly stock accounts, and there were no women and no this, and they were all okay. So how many people is that realistically? They're actually saying it's like they're underestimating it when they try and argue it, and then they're overestimating it when they talk about the impact on culture. So, and also bear in mind, the internet culture is not the same as real outside world culture.
Yeah, I mean,
the internet has turned into a very, very anti-media place, but I don't think that necessarily the general populace have changed much in their outlook.
I don't think the regular Joe on the street, unless that person is a hardcore gamer, knows about Gamergate.
No, there were no normies got red pilled over Gamergate. None.
Nope.
It totally won. You could argue it totally won Trump votes. People that would never dream of voting for a Republican candidate voted for Trump. There are some, but there's totally not enough to counteract the fact. I mean, hell, Trump didn't even have the most votes, so that's horse shit right there.
Yeah. Here,
as in all like the Midwest states and everything, and like all those Central states. They're all just full of like 4chan fucking gamers, like my fucking ass.
Yeah. Here, what began as a backlash to a debate about how video games portray women led to an
No,
internet
it
culture that
fucking wasn't.
ultimately
Who
that,
wrote this?
that ultimately helped sweep Donald Trump into the office. Really, these two people. I haven't researched who wrote I can probably find out what kind of astonishing pieces they've
I
written.
mean, even the argument is actually how Anita Sarkeesian elected Trump, because they start this argument, they start this talking about, something that happened years ultimately that actually had nothing to do with Anita Sarkeesian, and then she inserted herself into it. This is bullshit. This is
Yeah,
so badly written. So yeah, fine.
yeah. Here,
And then
this is what you're talking about. When it first happened, many of us were a little dismissive. After all, the people on the internet are always mad about something. In 2012, it was backlash against Anita Sarkeesian, a feminist media critic.
yeah, and that was just the beginning. I want to see what this link is. I want to see what the link is. Threatened to I think from New Yorker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an archive. I'm not giving them kicks. So
Oh, it goes to an archive anyway.
okay. Let me read the next one so we have the context in which they are talking about her. In May of that year, Sarkeesian announced she was starting a crowdfunding campaign for a video series called Tropes versus Women in Video Games, which she never fucking finished. In her introductory video, Sarkeesian clad in a paisley hoodie and hoop earrings, sits on a lime green couch and talks into the camera as she touts virtues of video games and such as improving hand-eye coordination, multitasking, and enhancing players' cognitive abilities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably one time she spoke a sentence that was positive about gaming. Well, whoopee fucking shit.
yeah, and she never had the controller on in that infomercial or whatever you want to call it for her Kickstarter. She didn't have a controller on for the
Yeah,
Xbox
just I'm
360.
pressing buttons, Alf. Jesus Christ.
Jesus. But the gaming community, she says in a 4-minute talk, also has a bad side. Many games tend to reinforce and amplify sexist and downright misogynist ideas about women, she says, of course. With no citations. Considering the increasingly central role video games play in our society, Sarkeesian said she planned to create a series of 5 videos to look at how women are portrayed, from the damsel in distress to sexy sidekick to the villainess and beyond. Yeah, and I think she was how
Well,
many?
look at the next two paragraphs. Just you'll spot it straight away how this is bullshit and written by someone who doesn't have a fucking clue what the history is.
Yeah, the trouble started soon after. Oh, do you want to read?
Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, Sarkeesian hoped to raise $6,000 over the next month to help pay for her project. The fundraising window overlapped with the 2012 E3 Expo, the game mega marketing event in Los Angeles. Okay. She hit her goal in the first 24 hours. In the end, she'd raised more than 26 times what she asked for, tallying $158,922. But this is the point. She raised that $6,000 and then she started crying, people are sexist. And then people started telling her to fuck off. And then when she was told to fuck off, she made an extra $150,000.
Yeah.
That's what happened. She didn't receive such overwhelming public support and then harassment came.
It was the other way around.
That's the other way around. She got that money because she cried harassment because there were some people online who told her to fuck off. Yeah, and maybe one or two of them said they were going to murder and rape her. Who were never going to. There were never no credible threats of any kind. But to claim that, like, wow, people were so behind her. No one's behind her. No one's ever. People have been behind her as a victim. No one has ever been behind her as a critic.
Yeah, and
I've never heard a single person who can sit there and argue her points and not sound ridiculous.
Yeah, and the entire start of the video series is Here, many games tend to reinforce and amplify sexist and downright misogynist ideas about women. Like, of course, people are gonna like say "fuck you" because
Yeah, citation fucking needed. Literally, the
yeah,
citation is, well, it turns out there was originally going to be a game that wasn't a Star Fox game that became a Star Fox game, and then Vox McCloud became the main character. Right, that was one of your main points in your first video. And we're like, yeah, because Nintendo thought they'd be better off marketing alongside an IP they already had.
yeah,
That's got nothing to do with fucking sexism. Granted, oh fine, they didn't actively include women in the Star Fox series. Yeah, okay, fine.
yeah, but that's kind of war, isn't it? Generally.
Yeah. Do you know,
So
it's a bit surprising how few fighter pilots are women. Yeah, funnily enough. Like, you get a squad of, was it 4 or 5? I can't remember in the Star Fox squad. I think it might be 5 fighter pilots. It's like, and in general, if you were to pick 5 fighter pilots at random, how many of them be women? None. Fucking none. Because in reality, fighter pilots are overwhelmingly male.
yeah,
So no shit, they didn't think to include a woman.
yeah,
And what?
but not everyone was applauding. An army of hateful trolls woke up, found each other online.
Launched a
How the
crusade of harassment.
how the fuck did they? I want to see this.
I don't know how viral information spreads. This is the thing. This has always been the thing that annoyed me about the whole
Oh, of
Gamergate
course,
argument
it links
harassment.
to another source of themselves. So fuck you.
Yeah, it's like this is the problem. They talk about a crusade, a campaign. No. That's not how viral shit works. Someone sees something and says that's fucking stupid. They either tweet it or post it on a chat board or on their Facebook wall or whatever the fuck, and then people who have the same kind of opinions as them see the stuff they post and they post it and it gets amplified. And so therefore it takes a couple of people to see, I see a tweet on my timeline, someone says something stupid, I comment on them, I send them a tweet saying you're a moron. Funnily enough, they've also received 200 tweets saying you're a fucking moron, because it's gone around the circle of people who think relatively the same, and they all go, look at this fucking moron, and then people go and say you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, and
That's not a campaign. That's not a crusade. That's just people, like-minded people, sharing information and commenting on it in a similar way.
that's how shit gets viral with everything. You don't find each other. You just found something of interest to you to some site you go to and say, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" or "Holy shit, that's fucking retarded." And
It's,
and and you do something about it, share the information or whatever. Like
Jesus.
launched a crusade of harassment targeting not only Sarkeesian but anyone else who questioned their view of how the gaming world should be. Yeah, citation fucking needed, and there is of course none. Who else was threatened? No one.
And also, let's not ignore the fact that at least 99.99% of anything ever pointed toward Anita Sarkeesian was nothing but you're a fucking scammer or you're a piece of shit liar.
Yeah.
That is most of the shit she got. There's a reason she went to the UN and said saying I suck on a day-to-day basis is harassment.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get all the time. Very rarely do you get, I'm going to come and stab you and rape the stab hole. Like, that doesn't happen. And when it does, it's almost invariably a fake bloody some troll or an account that's only ever tweeted twice or...
Yeah, basically. Just mostly it's trolled, but sometimes like even a 1% of those 1% or something like that, they actually believe that shit and actually mean it and want to threaten people. And so it's a small minority that would actually do something about that. Um, here, I want to read this. So why should you care that people are on the internet got angry? Yeah, why should they? Because attacks on Sarkeesian marked the beginning of a cultural shift and a key marker, what some people consider the decline of civil discourse. Really? They want to claim that ground on the map. Really?
That's social media did that. People talk shit about people they don't care about on the internet, and it gets seen.
Yeah, but the rich thing is the decline of the civil discourse. They don't ever want to discuss that shit.
Yeah, there's no fucking discourse. There's proselytizing and shut the fuck up.
And what just happened with Sargon? Shithead and garbage human being. And we're the ones that have a decline of civil discourse. This is
Well,
fucking
he did
rich.
have the audacity to sit and listen to her with the, especially like, oh well, he had the intent that, you know, some people were gonna, some, you know, he knew she might react badly. Well, yeah, he did. He didn't go there thinking, oh well, there will never be any circumstance where this will turn out to she'll react. Yeah, he wanted to hear what she had to say, but he also definitely, and he will admit so, really kind of wanted her to react badly, so that he can then hold her up to her own standards and go, "You terrible harasser."
Yeah, that's what he did, but nothing happened, of course.
Hoisted you by your own petard.
Yeah, and funny thing is uh, I saw it, like who is so Thunderfoot defending this position? Okay, on either Sarkeesian or Sargon.
You think, oh, you're really struggling here.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, and that's it's really fucking rich that just a few days before this happened, they claimed that we were the ones that had a decline of civil discourse. Jesus fucking Christ. What happened to Sarkeesian is that internet trolls, predominantly anonymous posters. Yeah, I wonder why we're anonymous when when people have been fired for a dick joke.
Or tweeting about Gamergate 3 years ago and then making an indie game. No shit, people would have put their names against their Twitter accounts.
Exactly. Jesus, realized they could work together to try to destroy the lies.
Yeah, there was an actual conspiracy. People got around and thought, let's all agree with each other because we can then harass and destroy people's lives. Never happened.
That's what I always discussed in my Skype groups and on Twitter with people. Let's fucking destroy these people.
Yeah.
Never once did that come up.
You call them Skype groups, they're harassment cabals.
The online hate directed at Sarkeesian and her project over Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit included calling her a slut, threatening to rape and kill her, and suggesting someone should go to her parents' home, which they identified and killed them too. Okay, that's kind of too far.
Yeah. When they there were some people who pulled her parents' address. The funny thing is, her dad is some kind of campaigner for like against the Armenian genocide, and is like massively kind of like opposite, and like goes out and does talks about the Armenian genocide, which is pretty fucking funny. Like,
yeah, that's kind of.
I think he donated money to Trump.
Huh.
I saw some evidence that this guy who is you know, he is an Armenian genocide campaigner, and then donated money to Trump and like lives in the same state as you know, lives in California and everything. It's like, oh, it's totally him. It's totally him. Yeah, but essentially, there are some people who did that, and those people were fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, threatening to rape and kill her and calling her a slut are two very different fucking things.
Yeah. Saying calling someone a slut is not very polite. Threatening to rape and kill somebody is a crime.
Yeah.
And especially when you talk about this, like with those communities they talk about that came together to harass Anita Sarkeesian, most of those people were against rape and death threats. The vast majority. But no one talks about them. They never talk about that. They never acknowledge that. They never acknowledge the people that went out of their way to track down people who were sending death threats.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to be tarred by that brush. It's like, no, I think she's a bitch. I think she's a liar. And I don't want to be tarred with the brush that you're painting. So I'm going to find the person that you have said, look, this reflects on you. No, it fucking doesn't. And let me show you who that person is. Oh, guess what? That person has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, and the guy
smeared me with turns out to be whatever, that Brazilian blogger who sent those death threats. We were like, we found the guy. By the way, Anita, we found the guy who's sending you death threats. Here's who he is. Nothing happened. Because there's more money and fame involved in saying it's the gamers. It's like, no, that guy hates gamers. He's a crazy anti-feminist from Brazil. Here's his name. Here's his articles talking about how much he hates you.
Yeah, and people found him in Gamergate. Found
Yeah.
him and reported him to
Funny
the
enough, they want to
police.
exonerate themselves because they don't want to kill her. They just wanted to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And here we have Zoe Quinn. A few years later, anonymous online trolls threatened to rape and kill her. Is there actually a citation for this? For a New Yorker? Okay.
Well, it's just the article that yeah, some people amongst the shitstorm of people going, that was really fucked up. Poor Aaron, you bitch.
Yeah, but as
Some of
far as
those people were out of line. Yeah, some of them were.
yeah, but as far as I know, they didn't actually prosecute anyone.
Nope.
Indie game developer Zoe Quinn, after her ex-boyfriend posted a 9,000-word online screed accusing her of sleeping with a games journalist
I mean,
for.
she admitted to
Oh
it.
my god,
I mean,
it's
she
not a
admitted to
positive.
it, and it
Yeah,
was
but
never
it's.
for a positive review. It was never for a positive review. It was
Oh my
he claimed
god.
his claim was that you fucked 5 guys while we were together, and you admitted to it, and you admitted that by your definition that was rape. And it turns out at least one of those people who we knew for a fact gave her positive coverage. Never reviewed her game. No one ever. People that said that were wrong.
Yeah,
They gave her glowing reviews during the whole Polaris game jam.
Yeah.
Around that time, referenced her game in hot games to look out for. Never reviewed her game, but promoted her.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. That was Nathan Grayson. Definitely committed poor ethical standards. And I remember at the time I was on a stream with Monday Matt where it was all kicking off when he was, the guy in the center of it with his DMCA. I remember saying to him, like, for me, it's got nothing to do with her. It's to do with the fact that the likes of Nathan Grayson are nepotistic fuckwads, and they've got no business calling themselves journalists if they're going to write about people they have personal relationships with. Fuck those people.
Exactly.
And that was the whole argument. And that was the point.
I still can't get it. It's almost 3 years now, and they still can't get this fucking thing right. It's fucking amazing.
Well, it's the further it goes away, the less likely anyone is to get it.
Jesus Christ. The whole campaign against Sarkis and Quinn and other women became known as Gamergate. Yeah, of course.
Nope. No, it wasn't. No, it fucking wasn't. That's the biggest lie of the whole thing. Is that ultimately what became known as Gamergate was that gaming journalists were getting together and colluding to talk shit about gamers with the Gamers Are Dead articles, and they colluded and released 10 or 12 articles on the same day, having a go at the title gamer, and then the phrase "holy shit conspiracy," and then Adam Baldwin said, "Oh look, Gamergate." Nothing to do with the campaign against Sark. Suppose it wasn't even mentioned at that point. Quinn was she was the Franz Ferdinand. She's the Franz Ferdinand of Gamergate. But ultimately, it was, fuck me, these journalists are nepotistic motherfuckers. Don't trust them. And then they all get together and start writing articles about fuck gamers. And then gamers are like, no, fuck you. And then it happened. Like, that's what it all came from. It was the press being antagonistic towards gamers and gamers getting antagonistic towards the press. And she was the epicenter. She was the causal event. Her causing creating a DMCAing Monday Matt at the time, and people going, that's fucked up. People just want to people are talking about this situation, and yeah, fine, it's your personal matter, and then the press all got behind her. People are like, oh, you bunch of colluding fucks.
Yeah, and you couldn't have done this to a worse group. I always say, because you actively told someone or punched someone, figuratively punched someone who has been used to be called a loser since childhood, and has been used to be kicked his ass or her ass in a game over and over again, and until you beat that fucking boss. And you're gonna tell gamers that spend hundreds of hours just to get a freaking armor or something like that, and your idea of beating them is to call them over. That's
you guys are losers, not cool anymore, motherfucker. We were never cool. That's the point.
Yeah, and that's
cool. You're the one obsessed about what's cool. No, dorks, fucking geeks have never been cool and never really wanted to be cool. Fine, geeky shit is now currently cool. That's why it's full of fucking posers.
Yeah, and that's basically telling gamers basically said, okay, challenge accepted. We're gonna fucking ruin you.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, of course, they're going against kind of, adult gamers because they always talked about it being kids. No, it wasn't. It was people who were gamers when gaming was not cool, who are now adults, and now you start saying, fuck you, you don't have a place in the gaming world. And we're like, no, fuck you. We are the gaming world, you twats. We are the foundation of it.
Exactly. Because the average gamer...
Because kids, I'm sorry, kids playing Minecraft don't give a shit about Kotaku or Polygon or what they write about games. They're far too interested in playing the games. They're not invested in any form of culture. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate to say gaming community and gaming culture because that's so nebulous and bullshit. Yeah. But like that's the point. The people who are invested in the identity of gamer, those are the older gamers who have spent their whole life being it, even in the face of it being really unpopular, and are now like, yeah, fuck you, I am a gamer. And then they go, fuck you for calling yourself a gamer. And they all go, no, motherfucker, fuck you.
Because the foundation, the average gamer is, I believe, 32 years old.
Yeah.
So a little bit older than me. But still, that... Yeah, that's just stupidity.
Funnily enough, like I turned 35 in a couple of weeks, and I spend more on games now and game less than I've ever done because I don't have time to. But I still buy more games than I ever did.
Yeah,
I've got loads of games I haven't picked up, tons of them. I haven't got time. I play through maybe one in every 10. I literally like focus heavily on one in every maybe 10 games I buy.
Yeah, same here.
and I've got a shit ton of them. Like, literally, the last one I completely played through was Nier. Played the shit out of Nier. That and Dark Souls 3. Those are the games that I have like dedicated more than 5 hours to this year. That's it. Everything else has been a bit here and there.
Yeah, same here.
So I work a lot. I don't have time. So my time is invested, even though I buy all the games that are interesting to me. I don't play them all. If I were younger me, I would have had maybe 10 games and I'd play them all endlessly. I'd be playing like 10 hours, 10 or more hours a day. I don't do that anymore. So I'm less of a gamer for like the hours I spend gaming, but I'm more invested in the identity and the culture of gaming than I was as a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's how it happens. That's why gaming ain't gonna happen. A lot of people who have a lot more, and they're quite happy to spend more time on their hands bitching at people than actually just playing their games. Which is what's wrong with the press, because they don't actually like playing games at all.
Yeah, and that's a freaking job.
Yeah, it's like play some more games, fucker. And they're like, do you know, I like games to be really, really short and have a campaign over in 3 hours. No, fuck you. I want a really, really big game. I'm just probably not going to get through it in a while.
Yeah.
And I accept that. It's going to take me a good few weeks to get through a game. Sorry. I'm busy.
This one is a pretty decent straw man. Today, angry internet mobs routinely use the threat of rape, bombings, and assassinations as a way to lay claim or to whatever it is they think they are losing to what they describe as as political correctness. And along the way, they've adopted new approaches that combine old school writing campaigns with internet terror efforts, like publishing people's private information online with the intent of bringing chaos and fear into their lives. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, literally, like 3 people have been doxxed. So, fuck me. We should kill them all.
Nobody talked about all the death threats and harassment in Gamergate. People who
It's not like people involved in Gamergate weren't getting like packages sent to their house, receiving death threats, people trying to cost them their jobs. But oh no, like 3 or 4 people had their address posted on 4chan. Even though we got actually that was Baphomet on 8chan who did most of that doxing. But whatever.
Yeah, that is.
Baff did that. Baff don't actually like Spurg gamers all that much, but they do like causing havoc and they do like doxing people.
Yeah, and Randy Harper posted the member list of a Gamergate group, which was shut down I think a year and a half ago or something, and basically doxed like 600 people.
Is she even
Uh,
still alive? I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, if this is a numbers game, a lot of more people in their own terms got doxed by
Yeah, loads. Loads more got
anti-gaming.
doxed and harassed. Loads. It is, and you could say, even if you wanted to be really, really charitable, it is equally 50-50. It's nowhere near 50-50. But if you could say, like, it is at least 50-50.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd say it's way more on the side of gamers.
of course.
But equally, like, sorry, the smearing, the harassment, the smearing. If I were to post my name and job online, thankfully, because I'm kind of head of my company's business and everything, that any phone calls would come into me, so I don't really give a shit. But if I were to do that, like, wow, even years later, I would be a target for harassment.
Yeah. Well, the my problem isn't really if I get the hate, is if they call like my family and all that shit. Is when I would have an issue.
Yeah, maybe they can find where my dad is and tend to give me a call sometime. Doc's my dad. I haven't seen him for like 7 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Randy, Doc's my dad. Go find that fucking loser. I need to punch him in the fucking face. Go find him for me.
Yeah, there'll be a dick to someone online and ask them to dox you on their family.
Find my dad, you fuck. Give him my dad's name. Be like, yeah. You've got a granddaughter, you fucking old prick.
Yeah. One sec.
Nice bit of dead air. What's up, chat? She docs 3 Facebook groups. Classy. Good old meth whale.
Yeah, so what does it say here? In short, trolls are now causing havoc in the real world. Okay. Well, if you're talking about he will not divide us, I'm not sure. Sarkeesian, who like Quinn, declined to comment for the story. Oh, really? Sarkeesian declined, but Quinn, of course. Declined to comment for the store, was forced to cancel a speech at a college campus after receiving an anonymous email from a supposed student threatening the deadliest school shooting.
That's such a lie. That is such a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, to do that revisionist history, because for starters, she cancelled it because, yeah, she received that threat from someone who's definitely got nothing to, like, clearly had nothing to do with Gamergate. But the reason she cancelled the talk is she asked the campus police to suspend the state entitlement to concealed carry for the sake of her talk, and they said, we can't do that. That's state law, and she refused to go. That's why she cancelled the talk.
Basically telling the police to break the law.
Break the law. And then we can't break the law. And she said, well, I'm not coming. And that was what happened. It's got nothing to do with it. I mean, the threat, of course, would have fueled that, but ultimately it was not because of the threat. It was because the police refused to breach the state rights, the state law rights of the people who were attending. They were not going to search every person who attended the talk.
Yeah, and I mean, the threat was labeled as not credible from the police.
Yeah, well, they said there's no way this is actually going to happen. This is random.
And this is actually the time where the only time Anita Sarkeesian became relevant in this. This was in October, I think, late October, like months after Gamergate started.
Yeah. I like the next sentence coming up from this. This is again hilarious.
Brianna Wu, co-founder of indie game development studio Giant Space Cat, had to hire personal security after she became a target for speaking out.
No, she didn't. She got security because she tried to meme on the internet and got memed on. She made an autistic meme and then got memed on to the, like, yeah, you mocked autism. You put an autistic meme up against gamers, and then the gamer masses counter memed the fuck out of you, and then you went, I need to leave my house, and then got interviewed from your house saying you had to leave your house. I've had to flee my home. Isn't that
and
the same bit of damp on your wall that's like in all the photos for your publicity stills?
and claimed David Pacman was harassing.
Yeah, you're
Oh
harassing
my
me
God.
by interviewing me fairly. By being on my side and interviewing me by asking me questions, but broadly being in support of me. You fucking bastard. It was so mental. Mess with
Oh,
games. No. You. In this case, it was more like talk shit about gamers. Gamers talk shit about you. That is the rule of what happened.
yeah, basically.
Talk shit, get fucking hit. They were
Yeah.
talking shit. They got talk shit on. And then, of course, people then dig into you, and like the likes of sort of like Sarah Butts going on and on and on about harassment. And then someone's like, "Oh, guess what? We found your forum post about sexually assaulting your underage cousin. You fucking pedo."
Oh my God. uh, Here the message was always the same. If you mess with the games, you'll regret it. Yo, that's the entire point. Oh my God, the one thing they got correct. Oh my God. They actually get so much wrong. They got this right. Isn't that quite ironic?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Soon the mob's attention turned into a world much wider than video games. Ultimately, some of them, like the popular right-wing commentator Mike Cernovich,
It's
moved
not
on.
popular.
He's a fucking idiot.
he's talking about literally that George Soros is paying people to troll him. It's like, no, it's because you're a fucking lisping retard.
And he claimed in December that he caused the Star Wars movie to lose $100 million. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, calm
But
the
then
fuck
this is also
on,
the
man.
guy who claimed that his sperm is so potent that it stops women cheating on him. Like, dude, you're a fucking dipshit. I know. There's plenty of people who like him for he's like part of the whole like alt-light kind of movement and everything. But like, he's such a fucking. He's like, I published a book. I'm a superstar. Like, fuck off. With your weird wood panel fucking walls, like you're some kind of hillbilly. Like, aren't you busy as a lawyer with all your casework and like your retained clients? Oh, guess you're a shit lawyer that no one wants to hire.
Here, Mike Sonner moved on from Gamergate to attack presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. But her whole entire campaign was Miss Sexism, I have a vagina,
Oh,
Miss
come on, go to the
Sexism.
polls.
Oh my God, that's
That
a
was the
fucking
worst. That
cringe.
was the worst
Oh
attempt
my
to like
God.
game campaign on a gaming platform I've ever heard in my life. I can imagine if like Bill Clinton would have been, it'd be your doom to not vote for me. Although I think he was voted in before Doom. Actually, that's a bad example.
Here, who the fuck is Soraya? Oh, okay. Wham. No.
Women's Media Center Speech Project, apparently.
Of course. Gamergate was an excellent breeding ground and practice ground. Why would you say it like that? Said Shimali, director of the Women's Media Center's Speech Project, which tracks online abuse. Over time, different groups on the internet that tend to respond negatively to women, such as some communities of hardcore gamers. There is no citation. Is there a
It
citation?
turns out far-right supremacists are a bit sexist. Who'd have thunk it? Do you know what's bad about those Nazis? The literal Nazis?
Here.
They're a bit sexist.
Despite women making up 52% of the gaming market, up to 70% of girl and women gamers hide. So fucking what? Hide the gender and all. That's not a citation.
Apparently
Fucking
not.
hell.
It's like, wow, do you know what? These Nazis? I love that it's like these Nazis are a bit negative to women. Like, well, they are Nazis. I mean, do you actually give a shit?
That's not a fucking citation.
Nope.
To respond negatively to women, such as some communities of hardcore gamers, coders, and far right white supremacy. Why did he write it like this? Far right white supremacist group.
Yeah, the triumvirate of evil: hardcore gamers, coders and Nazis. It's like the fire triangle. You have to like take out one of the three.
We couldn't take out the gamers, and the coders make the things for the gamers, and we have to take out the far right supremacists. Coalesce around the shared harassment of women and distaste for social change. Kamali's team tracked attacks on Clinton as woman because they're not biased at all. No. As a woman, such as pasting her face into a pornography and other sexist.
The internet does that. Granted, yeah, okay, fine. You want to say is the internet a bit sexist by the fact that is it a bit sexist? Yeah, okay, fine. Women tend to get gendered shit thrown at them. Yeah, they do. Okay, and like guys don't get fucking like it's not the same. Well, no, it's not the same. Guess what?
Yeah, but sorry, I just find it funny putting her face onto other sexy bodies. Like Jesus Christ.
And other sexist imagery. I like that of like putting Clinton on a sexy woman's body. That's a terrible thing.
Oh my god. Oh, that had been used earlier in response to Sarkeesian and other. Yeah, no citation needed, motherfuckers. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that their biggest harassment thing that they called up with the Nid Sarkeesian was the Punch Nid Sarkeesian flash game that had been used on everybody in the 90s ever. Like, that was a massive meme on Newgrounds at the late 90s that you made a punch somebody in the face game. That was like one of like a million of those games, and there were 99% guys.
Yeah, there was even Celebrity Deathmatch. Come on, man.
Yeah. But I remember those click games on Newgrounds where you'd, like, you know, smash what's his face? Jack Thompson's face in.
Yeah, nobody.
Exactly the same game. Exactly the same game.
Yeah, nobody.
But it's gendered. But that was gendered. Yeah. Not that it was done to everybody.
Yeah, and nobody talked about what happened to the person who created that game. He was harassed and got all sorts of shit.
Yeah, wasn't that Bendon and Spur, wasn't it?
I can't remember the name right now, but he got tons of shit.
Yeah. It's like, well, you know, we've done a lot. Those things existed for a very long time. And again, the Punch Jack Thompson game exists. The Punch George Bush game exists. The Punch fucking, Justin Bieber, Punch Miley Cyrus. Those are all just famous person flash game to punch him in the face. It's happened for a very long time.
But I think it's a pretty freaking big leap. Here, to those of us familiar with Gamergate, it was more of the same, she said. I was cautioned against thinking of Gamergate as an outlier event. Yeah, but how can, like, even if there is a correlation that some of people in Gamergate or participated in the stuff like campaigning against Hillary Clinton, like, correlation doesn't mean causation.
No. And of course, anything that you know, any situation like this is going to attract. Yeah, granted, like, you know, it's going to attract the sexist people. That's got nothing to do with the core argument, but it's all ideological. That's the problem. Is they always look for, well, we can look for the worst people, and then that invalidates the opinion. Because some people are twats. Yeah, some people are twats.
You can't just claim that gamers caused all of this shit and not show any proof, saying, "Oh, there were some women that got harassed online, or you saw the same rhetoric." That doesn't mean shit. That's not evidence.
It's dumb shit.
Attack groups are as old as civilization, and they form all sorts of reason from economic.
So why is this new then? Why the fuck is this new?
Yeah,
it's not new. You're saying it's exactly the same as it's always been, and therefore,
just in if you can say it like that, in more harmless form. Because when you do it alone, at least you're not punching each other in the streets.
So it's surprising how few lynchings happen. due to
Yeah,
tweets.
and games.
Yeah.
Like people get their aggression out, like shooting some motherfucker in the face. Like it's
It
cathartic
happens
as well.
inside echo chambers like Twitter. Jesus Christ, you fucking dipshits.
Groups like the Ku Klux Klan usually formed around people's homes among like-minded friends. In this connected age of ours, it happens inside echo chambers of Twitter or Reddit and message boards like 4chan.
I mean, despite the fact that 4chan banned Gamergate discussion because Moot was involved in something to do with Kotaku. But yeah, Gamergate and 4chan, they're totally friends.
Oh yeah.
There's no link between the rise of 8chan as a platform and 4chan banning gamers who were like talking about Gamergate. There's no link.
4chan has more in common with NeoGAF because all the leaks go on either NeoGAF or
Something
4chan.
awful.
You know?
It's fucking goons. Goons are a fucking cancer. If you pay $10 to post on that bloody page, you're a fucking dipshit.
What turns them into larger groups is a process described by researchers as small network theory. Yeah, at least fucking link
Oh
it.
shit! As well, like this is funnily enough not a conspiracy. You're talking earlier about conspiracy, and now they're talking about guess what? This is how viral media is spread.
Yeah, but again, you have to link it at least to.
I love it. This is. I have to go to the next paragraph. Sorry, but this paragraph is exactly what pisses me off. In the case of Gamergate, the mobs coalesced around a particular hatred for what they saw as outsiders, women in particular, attacking video games that they claimed was theirs. No, it was not. Even if you could talk about, even if you wanted to be wrong about it, you could say it was about slut shaming Zoe Quinn, which is what it wasn't about. But you could make that argument, and there was no one saying Zoe Quinn hasn't got a right to be a gamer. It was fine. You could argue it was slut shaming, which is wrong to say that, but you could have said it was slut shaming, and you would have been wrong. But this is not just even wrong; it's flat out retarded.
You would have had even a better case with slut shaming.
Yeah, you could have argued it was about slut shaming, and you'd have been wrong, but you'd have had a much better argument than this shit that it was about women being in gaming. What? I mean, you're just copying and pasting shit you've never read into.
Nobody can stop anyone from buying games. Literally, it's impossible to go around. Oh, I'm gonna steal your phone or like punch you so you can buy games. You would literally have to like chop off their arms or something like that, and you would go to jail even for that. So you can't do that. You can't stop people from buying games and enjoying games. Like the only barrier is money, basically, money and time.
Yep.
So claiming we are the gatekeepers of the biggest industry on this planet is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that that people can be exclusionist when you are in a hardcore fandom environment. Yeah, they are. That can happen. Yeah, I mean, you must have had those arguments of like, oh yeah, you call yourself a real fucking fan.
Yeah.
Do you know this? And those people are tedious fuckwads that no one actually likes. But those people exist.
Or if
those gatekeepers exist.
Yeah, or like higher tier, like let's say raiding in a game.
Yeah.
That can be exclusionary.
Yeah, get good, scrub. It's exclusionary. It's come back when you're better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is like a hardcore kind of exclusionist attitude, especially in a competitive environment. Whether that's I know the most about something dorky or it's a skill-based thing, like in gaming, which is the thing with gaming is both. It's how much do you know about games and how good are you? So yes, some people are ultra competitive and they will talk shit on people. But again, that's not linked to women in particular. It's just that in general, there are less women involved in gaming. And people are on the lookout for posers. Those things overlap. Also, they're thirsty fucking... A lot of people, the same people are kind of like thirsty, unfuckable losers.
Yeah, as well. Here, it's like staking your claim on on a particular ideology or a particular view, said Paul Booth, who studied games and pop culture at DePaul University. Of course, it's DePaul. Other views, other ideas, other people aren't allowed in. Yeah, but even if you have the views, other views, other ideas, you can't stop people from playing games. You can play games on your goddamn mobile. Like
Yeah.
there is no barrier anymore to games. You can get free games on your mobile, on your iPads, and even your PCs and consoles. You don't even have to pay shit. You just have to buy the starter kit, basically the PC or the mobile or the console to play shit. Booth calls these movements protective fandom. Oh my god! Of course he has. Of course he has his own terminology, so to speak.
Yeah, and like again, this is self evident because some people involved in fandoms, some of the more hardcore people, some of them are exclusionist, fucking spugs who are desperate for like get on my dork level or get out. Those people exist, but that's not indicative of this situation.
Like
That's
no,
indicative of all fandoms.
not all. Like if you have people playing professionally in League of Legends or whatever sports, StarCraft, whatever esports they are playing, they're not just gonna take some woman in because they want to be included. No, fuck that. Get good, scrub.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. One way they
Oh my god, here we go.
spread their message. It's through memes, inside jokes, often in the form of images. Okay, that's like a grandpa telling
Memes.
these bite-sized and easily shareable nuggets serve both as jokes and as a sinister make it.
Why does it have to be sinister? I mean, a meme is an idea. That's the point of it. Jesus Christ, it's an idea.
It's not even an idea. It's something. It might just be a joke.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like that's, I mean, the actual origin of the phrase meme is just it's an idea. It's an idea that is shared.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, just like memeing on somebody. But equally, it's like again, go back to Brianna Wu. She tried to start a flame war, a meme flame war, and she got memed on. That's what happened.
Yeah,
She tried. You don't try and meme on the denizens of the internet. They'll fuck your day up. You know, you're not very good at it.
Yeah, and they basically used their own memes against her. Oh my god, that was so funny. Here,
take the college liberal meme. Oh look, bless them. Your meme, college liberal. Who even calls that the college liberal meme?
Oh my god,
your meme. That's fine. Who calls it that?
I don't know. I just call it the feminist meme.
Yeah, that's just the SJW meme.
Yeah, SJW, and you have the angry feminist as well. The college liberal meme. It spread ideas of hypocrisy by offering one comment superimposed on the top. Oh my god, are they really explaining all of this? Seemingly smug college students photo followed by an undercutting comment. I'm against discrimination of any type, written above, followed by and listens to rap music with lyrics about.
That's too many words for that meme for starters.
Yeah.
Black. Yeah, it's like yeah.
That would take the entire screen, or the
lectures. It's more like hashtag BLM Dad's chief of police. Like that would be the appropriate fucking meme.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Like, you don't even know the meme, you fuckers.
Or claims all gamers are sexist. No, Gamergate claims all journalists are sexist or something like that, and hates women himself. Something like that. Something simple, like a hypocrite meme. That would be more, and it would have to. It can't be. Oh my god, they're not even memeing correctly. Jesus Christ. Gamergate used this meme to spread message. Major games don't cater to her life view, followed by "So all gamers are misogynists and the culture should die." Let's see.
I mean, despite the fact that the title of that page, you go on that meme, it's grammatically wrong. Not to mention, it's also a year after Gamergate.
Jesus
It was a
Christ!
2015 meme.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Like, oh my God.
I mean, this is the same guy who actually has. If you go through his page, just click on his page, has posted, "I love gaming, but I hate modern gaming culture." Well, yeah, this guy's clearly a hardcore.
Oh my God, memes are a reflection of what a culture is thinking, what a culture is concentrating on, Booth said, and it's because of that and that the nasty undercurrent that they spread fast and far. Oh my God.
They found the
Jesus.
worst. They found the worst meme on earth as well to prove their point. It's just the worst meme ever.
Oh my God. On a message boards and social networks, these groups also create language to fit their ideology. People like Sarkeesian are called social justice warriors. Or oh my God, they're gonna explain this shit as
I
well.
genuinely want to start like a little like counter meme that actually it stands for Shifty Jew Weasel. And we'll see if it's like no, really actually stands for Shifty Jew Weasel, and see if anyone picks up on it. Because I don't know if you heard that people were talking about that snowflake, calling someone a special snowflake. Do you know what they were talking about? Where that really comes from? Their idea of where it really comes from
No.
is the snowflakes are ashes from the Auschwitz ovens of human ash, and they're snowflakes because they're incinerated Jews. And it's like, wow, you actually poll. You actually a professional poll anon, because that's some shit. I mean, the same way they took the whole thing of like drinking milk is racist because some poll anon posted that like black people are more likely to be lactose intolerant, therefore drinking milk is a sign of white supremacy. And then it's like, then they really thought drinking milk was a thing that people did. Like the OK symbol. The OK symbol is a sign of white power.
Yeah, I know.
White power. It's like, what? You've like made up memes that aren't real because you found someone say it on 4chan.
I'm not gonna read the SJW part. I'm not gonna read the fucking
That's just
description.
terrible.
These groups began adopting other tactics that weren't confined to the internet. One called swatting is to call the police pretending to be. Yeah, that happened to Monday, no Matt.
Yeah, Monday Matt got swatted. I can't think of. Oh no, didn't Izzy Galvez get swatted apparently?
I claimed, but
and then doxed people.
Yeah. There was no...
I got swatted and then doxed people. Like, yeah, you've got a fucking functional. You've got a functional moral compass.
I don't think there was any evidence for that.
I bet like his address got posted somewhere, and he claimed he could have been swatted. I bet that's what happened.
Some shit like that. You're harassing and saying you're being held hostage by terrorists. Well, oh my God, they're gonna explain all the terminologies here. Swatting. Oh my God.
This is like a normie's guide to the internet.
During Gamergate, a blacklist of publication was created. This is on KIA.
Yeah, yeah. This would be Operation. What was it? Something or other.
Yeah.
A disrespectful nod.
Yeah. As were email templates and phone call script for how to most effectively convince companies to pull their ads. Sites that wrote critically or its message. The mob scored its first ring on Intel bullets. I mean,
people... it doesn't support a movement that discriminates against women. It didn't support Gama Sutra for posting trash.
This goes entirely against their own narrative.
Yeah. Like there was a reason Intel pulled their ads, because their articles were trash. And they were like, wow, these people are bigots. And then they went, but the people who called us bigots are bigots. And they went, oh, well, we're not bigots. We don't support bigots. That's literally the extent of this argument. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and Gawker...
And Adobe. Oh, they went after Gawker. Gawker was cancer. Gawker was the worst fucking website for news and inverted commas online. And there's a good reason it got trashed and died. It was a fucking cancer. Here,
they actively ignore what he actually said. Next, the group pressured Adobe to stop advertising with Gawker Media after one of its writers posted critical tweets about Gamergate. No, that's not what he fucking did.
No, he said, bring back bullying.
Yeah, and here, then clarify that it rejected all forms of bullying. Oh, fuck off. That's
I
a
don't.
fucking
Yeah,
lie.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, but yeah, bring back corrective rape. I actually, sorry, I don't actually believe rape is the answer to what the fuck.
These wins were short-lived. The trolls pressed on, encouraged by celebrities like former Breitbart editor Miley Yiannopoulos and actor Adam Baldwin, whatever, who criticized people like Sarkisian. Do you know why they covered Gamergate? Because they actually reported on what we said. You
Yeah, Milo
motherfuckers.
became a celebrity because of Gamergate, purely because he was one of the few people who had a platform who would write articles about it. And to be fair, for whatever people might think of him, he wrote fair and fair and balanced articles about that topic. Did he
Yeah,
delve into some tabloidy trash, writing hit pieces on people? Yeah, he did.
yeah, he
Is he a
wrote one
provocateur
for.
who desperately wants attention? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, wrote one on Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I
Yeah.
heavily criticize. Here, this no citations of this. The Gamergate also expanded use of a tactic called doxing, or publishing a person's address, social security number, phone number, or any other private information. A lot of this information are really through public, and oh
So it's
my
not
god,
private information because it's public. It's
yeah,
personal information that is public.
they really explain all of this shit. This
Yeah.
article is unnecessarily long. By the time the 2016 presidential moved on into its final phase, pitting Clinton against Donald Trump, these mobs' favorite tactics were well established. Gamergate was the canary in the coal mine, Wu said. Of course she did.
Yeah, she would say that.
Angry trolls sent vicious and often anti-Semitic messages to journalists covering Trump.
That's actually that's a terrible. I just say that's a terrible analogy because the idea of a canary in the coal mine is the people that died first. She should have said she was the canary in the coal mine. She couldn't even get a metaphor straight.
Yeah.
She could have said my harassment was the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah. And she even didn't get that right.
Yeah.
Trump accusing them of biased coverage and threatening their safety in the real world. Journalists like NBC's Katie Tour, whom Trump publicly criticized on more than one occasion, had to be escorted out of a rally by Secret Service for safety's sake. Memes about Clinton spread rumors about her. Yeah, see how that can actually be good thing sometimes. Maybe question, is this person fit to be president? Like, I'm not gonna do this Pizzagate shit. Jesus Christ. Was come to known as the alt-right, palatable way of describing a loosely connected group of white nationalists carved a place for itself inside Republican establishment by playing off fears of the changing economy and encroachment of minorities. It's easy to feel as though the toothpaste is out of the proverbial tube. How do you fix a sickness that prompts someone to tell another person to kill herself?
Yeah. Sorry, but the SJWs do that all the fucking time. Telling people to kill themselves. I'm sorry. That is so fucking heavy on the hard left. So heavy.
Yeah, and here on YouTube, I've been cracking down on serial abusers. Yeah, by removing all the money creators got.
Well, yeah. I mean, a Swedish guy made like 3 jokes referencing Nazis. Therefore, remove all ad revenue from YouTube.
Yeah, basically strawmanning him to the fullest.
Even the fact that they used a reference of a thing that he said this is going to get taken out of context, and they used that. That's amazing.
Out of context.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the video in the screen, which was slow to respond to Gamergate. No?
Slow to yeah, it was slow to responding. Yeah, it totally was.
Oh, fuck off. Has been pushing back in a less confrontational way. The game maker Electronic Arts, for example, has partly given 1 million in donations to anti-bullying inclusive.
They do that because they are cancer, and everybody hates EA for being anti-consumer bullshit. And they think that they can give some money to charity and then go, "We're good people. You only hate us because you're bigots. No, we hate you because you're scammers."
Yeah, why do you think they do that? Because they got a Golden Poo Award
It's like
twice.
I remember that you motherfuckers wanted to include microtransactions to buy bullets in Battlefield. I fucking remember, you twats. Don't pretend that wasn't on your fucking table.
Yeah, and you were the ones who included online passes.
Yep.
Fuck off.
Trying to restrict used games. Like, fuck you, you assholes. And then, oh Jesus Christ, fucking SimCity, that was cancer. Forcing
Yeah,
it to be online to play
I
SimCity, and
I
then
bought that game or pre-ordered it, which was a big fucking mistake because I thought it was offline, and then I discovered, oh my god, this has DRM on it. Fuck me.
and then they went, "What do you know about gaming development? If you know anything about gaming development, you'd know that they can't just remove it." And then they just removed it.
Yeah, a year later or something like that.
No, like months later. Because there was
Yeah.
there was a mod released as well. Someone released a mod that removed the online connectivity. Like a week, like 2-3 days in.
Oh god. We do believe our responsibility is to uphold a value system. If we don't, then who will? Oh,
I
this
don't
is
know.
fucking rich.
EA are the moral fucking
Arbiters of
paragons of the
the
world. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we love you.
Despite these efforts, the issue still remains. Minutes after Wilson celebrated the gaming community's efforts to raise funds for these organizations during presentation in E3 Los Angeles on Saturday, one attendee began catcalling, whistling at a woman presenter. The crowd didn't respond, and the presentation. So
Those
where's the
people are
issue?
journos. Those people are fucking journalists. The talks.
I think it was the. It was it doing the Xbox or oh it was EA. Yeah, the Battlefront, they had a hot chick who played the main protagonist in the new game in the Battlefront. She's pretty hot, so
Yeah.
I think one person whistled and nobody cared.
Yeah, and they those people in those panels are all journos.
Yeah.
Something they don't
uh
understand about I mean, I know there was like general
it
convention
was
access, but those panels
yeah,
are press panels.
yeah, the most people there are press people because they have preferred the seatings and all that.
Yeah.
There are other ways Gamergate's reverberations continue to hit the E3 show on
Yeah,
Sunday.
harassment of someone who once tweeted about Gamergate. Yeah, don't talk about
Shortly,
that.
shortly after it's a new Xbox One console, some fans realized the co-creator of a game announced on stage had supported Gamergate in 2014. It quickly tweeted an apology. A lot of things have changed to me, and as yeah, we kind of talked about this earlier. For her part, who said it's normal now that every time she speaks in public, there has to be a bomb sweep. Yeah, a citation needed, and threats of rape, death, and other violence have become so common she doesn't even track them anymore. I had a brick thrown through my window of my house a few weeks ago. Yeah, citation needed. And I'm gonna need to see the police report. And yeah, bullshit. You hide behind a block list, you liar. But who isn't just accepting it? If the mission of these mobs is to silence people with different views, when they've lost, when it comes to her, she's running for Congress in
That's gonna
2018.
be
And
hilarious.
the only way forward she can see the changing the law she tends to make happen. For all the horrors that are going on right now, I think it's waking literal millions of people out there in America to stand up and get
Nope.
involved and make a difference.
No, it hasn't.
Oh my god, I want to wait to end the goddamn thing on. Oh
Jesus
my
fucking Christ.
god. Jesus.
They actually haven't even bothered to actually, other than literally go, Cernovich was rude to Hillary Clinton. That's the link. That's their link to Trump. That's how they've managed to pull that together. Like, you could have made a far better argument that would have still been wrong. You could have made an argument. And that argument was shit.
This entire thing was shit. Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
So yeah, Ian Scher and Erin Carson, you You two are some dumb fucks.
This is the most normie of normie thing, like explaining memes and getting all your citations are
A
so
meme is a
ass back.
picture with a joke on it, right? Okay, thank you. The
Like
memes.
a 12-year-old knows exactly what a meme is. You don't have to explain it in fucking detail.
Yeah, this shit is the most normie thing alive.
Oh my god.
Ian
Um,
Shirt, San Francisco, of course, he's from San Francisco.
Yasinat is owner of GameSpot, which I got banned from, hilariously enough. IP banned actually. So
Nice.
yeah, because I called them out on their ethics and I got banned.
How dare
Um,
you?
we've gone for twice the amount I was expecting. We've almost gone for 2 hours ranting about this stuff. Jesus Christ. Is there anything you want to mention before we close the stream, except for the other cancer we have covered tonight?
No, I think that's enough tumors for one go. I think.
I feel them growing in my in the back of my head already. Jesus, oh my god. Yeah, as I said, I put all your links in the comments. So I hope you make videos in sometime in the
Yep.
future, because
Yeah. So I've got my I've kicked off a new podcast a couple of weeks ago. And people, it's funny because people have not noticed that I'm trying to do a positive one about games that I like with a buddy of mine, and it's the super happy intensive togetherness podcast, and people are like, huh, that means the acronym for that is shit. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's why it's that. That's why it's the name of the podcast.
yeah.
So it's the shit pod.
I mean, I would kind of love to make it just about games, but I think I would just grow tired of.
Well, that's why I wanted to do something separate. That's kind of like I want to focus on the stuff I like.
Yeah.
To talk about the things that encourage me and make me entertained, and then I can have my main channel for bitching out shit.
Yeah.
Because that way it's going to give me a regular platform to talk about gaming, and then I need to go on my channel and start cussing people out.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of get that. I try to talk about games sometimes about this channel. Maybe do a few streams on this, but I have a Twitch channel basically for that, so I don't want to overbug this channel with just like gaming stuff, because
Yeah.
not everyone is interested in that. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. I wanted to thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.